ClowdyWorld, and I have something to tell y'all. It's a secret, and it's that the new Chief Keef album is still hitting hard, and I honestly still ride by my stance that I believe that the Chief Keef Almighty So 2 album is a classic. Come with me and we're gonna break down why I feel that way. So about 2 weeks ago, I made a video about Chief Keef, basically speaking that Almighty So 2 is going to be looked at very fondly in the next few years, and if anything, it's a pretty strong turn in the next direction of what the new drill era will be. New drill era in terms of the sound, in terms of how the music is made, in terms of the beat selection and choices, the cadence, the hi-hats. To really understand it, music is a science. Even though, you know, it all sounds aesthetically pleasing on the mainstream, to make a beat that even sounds good, even if you're good and basic at just understanding it, still can take hours to get the right sound that sounds even polished for a basic SoundCloud rapper, much less someone that's signed to a multi-year 360 deal, anything of the mainstream label type of level. That's just how complicated and understanding the beat process works. And when we talk about Chief Keef, we have to speak on how he understood beat production since the beginning. He made his own beat for I Don't Like. Him and Young Chop made greatness together in Southside Chicago, man. And I don't think people talk about Young Chop enough as one of the biggest pioneers of not only drill music as a whole, but honestly that early 2013 to 15 sound of rap. Because in that era, people don't like to give a lot of credit to the producers, but when we look back now, from 2018 to 2020 to 2022, from Sicko Mode to Don't Find God to God's Plan to, even though we just had the new Kendrick Lamar song Not Like Us, the producer wave and what they do and what they bring to the table in terms of music, and objectively just what they add in terms to the artistic, creative, just understanding of what the music is just something you can't quantify. When you think about Future, let's talk about one of his biggest hits, Mask Off. Now, Mask Off was a big hit for a multitude of reasons. It was on a 2-album back-to-back drop where Future dropped some of his hardest hitting music in his kind of an era of a second prime of his. As people know, this era was Hendrix and, you know, Self-Titled, whereas we already know Draco with the Book Bag, My Collection. There's just so many hits on there, but as we know, Mask Off is the one of the topic. Now, Mask Off has one of the greatest beats of all time. Objectively, if you disagree, I'm sorry, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Please don't fight me. The beat's fire. But would you say that Mask Off was Mask Off because of Future, or would you say Mask Off was Mask Off because of the beat? Now, you could argue that it's Future because of his cadence and wordplay and how he's made summer hits, anthems, number ones. He's been one of those artists who's consistently done it again and again. But you could also argue that the beat is so hard hitting that you could replace Future with, let's say, 21 Savage, let's say a Kendrick, let's say a Travis Scott, let's just say anyone of a similar level of talent, wordplay, or lyrical skill, or even just charisma. Now, I wouldn't necessarily just agree with that, but I could definitely understand why someone would have that perspective. And so kind of what I'm bringing it back to is when we talk about Chief Keef's music, a lot of people can't really just say that because Chief Keef designs and really implements his own style of production with his beats. Every single beat feels uniquely Chief Keef. To give you a great example, we can talk about one of the first songs on the Chief Keef album, 123. Now, this song is one of my favorites because not only does it showcase Chief Keef's lyricism, but it also showcases his style of production and how he makes a song not just 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but a real experience. When he lets the beat slowly build up with that 1970s instrumental kind of overlapping in between with these small hi-hats and flutters coming in, it really shows and kind of showcases what Chief Keef's elevation and not just production, but in kind of setting the scene of his music and his artistic creativity. Someone else that does something very similar, but many may not look at it in the same way, is Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator has a lot of small hi-hats and beats that slowly build and kind of creep up into something new and also change in between. One of my favorite songs that kind of came out by Tyler the Creator, I'd say in the last few years, kind of since that Igor period, you know, kind of where everything was a little bit not really different, but you know, I'd say a mixture where Tyler the Creator kind of experimented more than he usually does. And that was with the song Hot Wind Blows, and featuring Lil Wayne. This is one of the songs that I feel like Tyler was very kind of rambunctious, overt, very fun, very just experimental, energetic, and it merged with them because it was a beat perfection and made of quality for specifically Wayne and Tyler. It found a mix of both of their styles where they could blend on with those old soulful cues and soulful instrumentals that kind of represented Lil Wayne's old school The Block Is Hot to the Carter 2 to 3 era tapes. It brought back that flow and fluidity that kind of mixed with some of Tyler's earlier projects, and it really just made an amazing sound. So when we related with this Chief Keef project, every beat is not just dictated and created for Chief Keef. It feels like it kind of carries what Chief Keef feels and views in his music overall. I feel like an artist like Chief Keef kind of will always struggle to get appreciated and viewed in their proper light, because when you're a trailblazer, especially one that is still respected, trailblazers have to see their sons, their daughters, and their children of their influence elevate to statuses that they may never obtain. And that's the reality and understanding of what a trailblazer is. The first basketball players would be pooped on by Curry, LeBron, KD. Is it not just because they're physically stronger, but because of the technique, the style of play, just the advancement of the concept of what it is to even play the game. So when we look at music like that, we have to look at it the same way, where people will kind of speak on or downplay artists like Chief Keef, where some may not know his first week sales were 25,000. Now, many people will say 25,000 is low, 25,000 is this, that's not high. Let me give y'all some context, because these people will never give you context, because context shows the little bit of power that these labels at times can have. So Chief Keef is an independent artist. Independent artist splits with most 360 labels. Artists aren't even clocking in 15 to 30% of their actual income from their projects. Whether it's a 360, whether it's label management, whether it's just figuring out their publicity, whether it's figuring out what they can actually market their stuff in. Many people don't even have their actual rights to their music as a whole. So it's a whole lot of things. Chief Keef is independent. Him selling 25,000 would be the equivalent of an artist of Lil Baby's heights selling 170 to 200,000 in terms of monetary gain, the money that they actually make, keep in pocket. That's because that's how much of a chunk these labels and businesses and these type of kind of conglomerates build along and around the rapper, because rappers aren't made in the system to keep their money. They're made in the system to funnel their money to the other investments and expenditures of the corporation. That's why one rapper can never hold up an entire label, but one rapper can push a label and kind of establish it and bring it into high prominence to bring others on board, which can establish dominance. The greatest example being YMCMB, Young Money Entertainment by Lil Wayne himself. So when speaking on all these type of contexts and specific issues and overall just ideas of what music becomes, I want to leave y'all with this. Chief Keef is consistently and continuing to elevate his style, creativity, and essence in his music. And in a time like 2024, when most artists can't even have their own original duet, their own original swag, their own original names, I, for one, as a listener and someone who appreciates their art, I'm eating, I'm loving it. I've never had Chief Keef, at least in the last few years, have this much energy and passion for his craft. And as a Chicagoan and someone who actually is from the city, that makes me very tapped in and very excited to see what happens. But ClowdyWorld, and let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all feel about Chief Keef overall and what he means. Let me know what y'all think about the album. ClowdyWorld, and we gone.